All right.
Actually,
now,
sorry, this is completely out of game,
Yes.
but don't the Dutch have a history with Hong Kong with the whole East Indian how do you call it in English?
East
The
India
Oost
Company.
Indisch Handelscompany.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they do.
They
Just
do.
like the British.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. Yeah.
I just
think-
remembered that the Dutch probably also have a history with Hong Kong.
Indeed,
Yeah.
they do.
Yeah.
Just like the British with their opium and all that. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Moving. I will use my catchphrase.
The only one here has no place here is a chubby dragon.
Moving right along. Yes, I used it. Okay, next scene. Right, you're going to the Polin Monastery, which is the grandest monastery of Hong Kong. This is a sprawling complex of temples and other religious buildings. And of course Buddhas. Lots and lots of Buddhas.
Hey, Chubby, your phone is here.
Yes, indeed.
Hey! There's
Faithful-
Uncle Buddha,
faithful-
Grandpa Buddha, Father Buddha.
Indeed, faithful monks pray and meditate all day to find enlightenment and to discover the deep religious truth. And towering over the countryside is this huge 20-meter bronze Buddha on a hilltop. You can see it from miles and miles around.
Wow, what a big lightning rod.
Yes, yes it is. And of course, you know which monkey you have to.
I was muted. I was trying to say something. Rose punches both of you in the shoulders when you start talking smack about Buddha.
Ow.
Hey!
Nice.
She just says show some respect.
I am! And then I point to the 20-meter tall Buddha. I said, I am showing respect. That's my brother.
She gives you a look. You can't see her face, but you know she's staring at you.
I know. And I grin
Glaring.
cheekily at her and I say, hey, it's funny.
Perhaps you should leave an offering while you're here as an apology.
I don't think monks would like my offerings. Because all I've got are my kits.
Yeah. But of course you can buy some incense, some joss sticks that you can burn and offer.
Yes. Money
some-
will. She just says money will work just fine.
Okay.
Take out my
I
wallet. I put in 1,000. What is the currency anyway?
Yeah, usually you buy an offering to
Yes.
offer at like an altar.
Guan, I think. No, wait, it was Hong Kong dollars. Yes, Hong Kong dollars.
Yes,
That's it.
I put in a note of what was it, 1,000 Hong Kong dollars. I don't know how much that's worth.
Actually,
dollar
no,
for
you
dollar,
wouldn't
so-
want to do that. That would be like 2 months' entire paychecks for a regular person.
Yeah, so you want to offer
more
something
like
like 10 or
100 then. Sorry.
Yeah.
yeah, something like that. I know money is not important. You buy an offering and
Yes,
you
I
offer
buy
it
an
with your own bare hands to the Buddha. Buddha.
I
Right.
I leave I leave a few hundred in the bowl and I take a few incense and I light them myself.
Yeah. I also get some praying in while I'm in the neighborhood.
After your religious
Since she actually is Buddhist.
your religious observances are noted and appreciated, and a young apprentice comes up to you and says, Sirs, ma'am, this one.
Stand out.
Yes, you stand out. My master tells me that he's ready to see you. Would you kindly follow this one?
Wait,
Yes.
what?
We shall follow you.
I find it a
Oh,
little
me
suspicious, so
too
I
awful.
What?
I am gonna follow him, but I'm gonna keep a close eye on my
Yes,
surroundings.
indeed. Okay.
Did he just
you're
say
like-
something weird
Yes.
like afterwards?
Oh, me too awful. That's something that you hear the monks saying a lot, like every other sentence. It means, no, for those of you that live in Hong Kong, it basically means Buddha bless.
Oh, okay.
So he just thanks you for your cooperation.
Okay.
And you're led into a small
I guess I respectfully bow back then.
Yes. He leads you indeed in pose to a small secluded little garden, which is exquisitely made and lavishly decorated with all manner of exotic rocks.
Okay, before we're led
because-
into the garden, when we're still
Yes.
out in the big main area and everyone's dealing with their own thing, not really paying too much attention to us, I sneak a few blades up my sleeves just to make sure. Because some dude just said that he's ready to see us, even though he doesn't know why we're there.
Let me put out this way. In Wushu, you don't need to prepare that much. You can do things retrospectively.
It's
Within
the
certain
80s. You don't have to prepare.
Yeah, I
you
don't
just
have
have it.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, sort of. Yes, there's a small little building which looks just like a poor man's craft, a poor artisan's hut from the last century. However, it's made in wood, and you see newspapers lying there and all manner of little telltale signs of luxury, like a proper toilet, for instance, or something like that. Yeah. And in there, and the doorways is opened, and there you see a venerable old monk wearing the classic robes with a really tiny wispy long beard, and well, maybe one day his bushes were really thick and bushy, but now it's just a wispy little elf brow, shall we say, and no hair. Greetings, greetings, my guest.
You were going to say traveler, weren't you?
Yes, we see so many tourists here. It becomes a bad habit.
That was an out-of-game comment.
Would you young people like
Okay.
some tea?
I bow back, and would be rude to decline his hospitality. So she just goes, yes, my apologies for not taking off my helmet. She seems a little awkward.
I am sure you have a very good reason for that, my young child. Now, please,
Yes,
sit,
I
make
do.
yourself comfortable. He does you the great honor of pouring you his tea, the tea. Yes. Something tells me you youngsters are here for something specific.
Yes, unfortunately, this is the case. We were at a crime scene just a few moments ago. Some hoodlums robbed a bank, and they left this at the scene of the crime, and I show him the torn up parchment with a frog on it.
Oh, I see. Yes, very good penmanship. There are only a few more flaws, and if only young Lo was a little bit better, you would have made it would be perfect. It is his eternal striving to find enlightenment through the brush. Yes.
Was this drawn by one of your students?
Yes. Young Lo, very gifted. Came to us late, but still, he is a very good kid.
She sighs. Then I have some bad news. I fear he may have turned to a life of crime.
Oh, no, that can't be. He breathes for a moment, and then...
This piece of parchment was put on a statue at the entrance of the bank by one of the Imperial Dragons.
The who?
They are a relatively new triad here in Hong Kong.
Oh. Well, we can't have one of our students being involved in any sort of crime. I thank you for telling me this. if you let me, I will go speak to young Lo immediately and find out what's going on and set him straight.
He's still here?
Well, I think so.
Ah, that changes everything. I look at my two comrades.
What do you mean?
I think we should have a talk with him. He may know more about these criminals.
What, if I may be so bold, what is your interest in this case, young ones?
We wish to stop these criminals, bring them to justice.
They hurt a lot of innocent people.
They have? Oh,
yes.
That won't do. Amitofo. I will pay for them.
Just robbed the bank. I repeat.
Yes. Oh. Sometimes I wonder if it is really a crime if you steal an illusion from an illusion.
They did hurt people to get the money.
That is a sin, yes, truly. So, in many ways, we too steal illusions from illusions. Yes. ... Yes. Unfortunately, young Lo should be in the sanctified part of the temple where we do not allow visitors. Would you mind being my guest for a little while longer while I go have young Han here fetch him?
I look to my two associates to see how they react.
I shrug.
Yeah, I was about to do the same thing. I shrug and I nod to her like, it's your call.
So helpful.
You know what? I am being very rude by doing this, but I'm gonna assume the old master doesn't know any English. At least I assume. This is Hong Kong though, but still. Gonna whisper in English. If he knows we're here, he might use that to try to escape.
Then we need to deal with it.
But we cannot disrespect it. You know what?
I have an idea. Let me deal with this.
Okay.
I've got an idea.
All right.
And you see him.
Actually, what language were we just talking to the master?
He was talking Chinese, and young Han was translating for the English guests.
Okay, very well. Rose was of course talking Chinese because it's her language.
So I'm going to bow and I'm going to say, "Excuse me for a moment. I need to make a call."
And Rose just says, "Yes, I will wait here."
And young Han goes, yes. This one can escort you to and can show you where the phone is.
Oh, I have my own. Thank you.
He stares at you as though you just said that you conjure fire for a living.
And you see him walking away from the area, like the immediate vicinity. And as he does, he pulls out this big honking giant phone and he calls Jeffrey. And he says, "Jeffrey." As he's like away from prying ears, obviously. "I need a distraction."
Very well. Hell in the handbasket.
I'm thinking destruction and mayhem without the hell.
Very well, sir. One light distraction coming right up.
Thank you, Jeffrey. And I hang up.
Carrying around this phone gives me a real workout.
Yes, You put down your workout. You put down your workout phone.
I know. No. It's kind of like on Naruto in the tournament, the Chunin exam, where Lee takes off his ankle weights and he drops them in big ass explosion. If he like puts down if he drops the phone, like a big crater ends up in the ground. That's why he's so spry and lithy for a fat guy.
Right. Yes.
But,
so suddenly you hear the gong calling people to prayer.
Actually,
and the
I'm
master goes.
just carrying a lot of cell phones.
Huh? That is odd. We shouldn't be praying at this time of hour.
Oh, it's prayer time? Well then, obviously we must join in. I would hate to be disrespectful.
Oh, it's not. He uses Rose to translate since he doesn't speak English apparently. He says, "Well, it's very kind of you foreigners to join in. It's not.
I'm not a foreigner.
It is not. It is not something that is required of you."
No, after all your generous hospitality, please allow us to join in. And he looks over at the biker chick and winks.
I don't know what the custom is. I don't know that much about Chinese culture.
Not Chinese, yes, sorry.
Yes, it is unusual, but yes, these temples are for the spreading of Buddhist culture. So yeah, okay. You'll be put next to the other apprentices who just quickly say, just do as we do, and sit down in the prayer.
We will stay in the back. She feels really usually she's like really confident, but now she's like in a place of religion. She feels really awkward in her biker outfit.
Actually,
indeed, with the helmet still on. That's but
so disrespectful.
Yeah, she would
you get glasses.
She would see the wink from the fat man. As, he had said that we'd join them. And he would mouth the word distraction.
Uh-huh.
So you plan to get lost on the way to the prayer hall. Very well. Let's see, do I want to roll for that?
I lean into Rose and say, you gave us a slap on the back for being disrespectful towards Buddha. How should I treat you now?
Oh, you evil.
just hear a loud grumble at that.
You know what?
Yes.
You know what? Well, you hear the fat man say, "Well, we're guys, so she punched us in the shoulder, but she's a girl, so should we smack her on the ass?"
It's your funeral.
Indeed, she says as she stares at you.
It was just a suggestion.
Meanwhile,
you can always try and see what happens.
Outside, the monks all gather in orderly queues, and they all walk to meditation rooms, do the meditation in the faith rooms, and they in lines, folding their hands, looking a little downwards, starting to recite a mantra of some description, and you can just follow along or not. And young Han, who is assigned as your guide, says, "Oh, there's young Master Lo," and he points out at one particular live and sprightly looking youngster. He's about approaching middle age, shaven head, with just a really light, one of those neat little ring beards, and big bright eyes. He watches you from the corners of his eyes with interest, so to speak.
There he is.
Yes, you're all. The monks are all walking towards the main temple. That's a good word. To the main temple. What do you do?
I'm going
This is difficult.
I'm going to gather the monks that are around her away from her and pull them, into me more or less and be like my big jolly self that, fat guys are normally supposed to be, and just engage them in conversation, taking all of the attention off of her.
Okay, so you try to distract the monks that are trying to, remain focused on their religious practice. We're slightly distracted.
I'm trying to make sure they don't notice her. Let's just put it that way.
Okay, sure. You're being disruptive.
Yes, and I'm gonna talk about my restaurants and my recipes and ask them if they know of any good homegrown ingredients that they could suggest to me for a new recipe of some sort,
rice?
Stuff like that.
Yeah, so it's strange, but anyway, it's a distraction. Good. That leaves the two of you. That will leave the mechanic and the policeman. Police woman, free to do what they please.
Rose is gonna sneak away, and she thinks to herself, later I'm going to come back and give so many offerings, because she's feeling super disrespectful and stuff. And she curses the Imperial Dragons for making her do these dishonorable things.
Chris, what do you do?
I follow the lady.
Okay. Do you want to cut in on young Master Han, or do you want to abduct him or something?
I actually try to go stand in a place where he will possibly run away to.
Okay,
I'm cutting
you
off
cover
his
the
escape route.
Rose?
Yeah. I'm gonna focus on trailing the young apprentice we're supposed to interrogate.
Yes, Han. And of course that makes him a little nervous. And you know that guilty people, and you know that innocent people do not get nervous. So when, of course, the young apprentice just breaks and runs away, Axel catches him in a small, near a small gardening shed, and he goes, I think you've got him.
We're more or less alone, right?
Yes, there's just the three of you,
okay.
Rose, Axel, and Han, and the chubby Durkin can join you later.
I just say, Han, we know it was you.
He pales a little.
Did I
and
give
says,
away the? I think I gave the parchment to the master, didn't I?
You still have it. Remember?
Oh, okay. Then I just hold up the parchment.
He looks at it. Oh, is that? Oh, thank God. Sorry. No, thank Buddha. Yes. This one made those inscriptions, those prayers.
How did this find its way into the hands of the Imperial Dragons?
Ah, yes. You see him recognizing the name, and he says, starts to say, that I do not, that this one does not know. This one writes prayers for whomever wants a prayer written down.
I don't believe you. I say after a considerable length of uncomfortable silence.
All right. Do you want to? Who wants to intimidate young Han?
I'm already intimidating him by being very silent and staring at him.
Okay.
He probably knows who I am.
You may.
He's any kind of criminal.
You may roll 3 dice in total. Let's see how
all
much.
on attack, I assume.
Yes. It's basically a skill check.
Shouldn't Reese help me out? I know, cracking his knuckles or something.
I just stand real tall, fold my arms, and flex.
Okay, you can flex for 3 dice.
Nice.
Are you trying to intimidate him or seduce him?
Speaking of which, you really need
up,
to listen to the recording.
Okay. In any case, I only have 1 success, unfortunately.
What's that? Mutai Master? Mutai Master.
It
1
would
success
be
as well.
actually everything else, because you don't know how to interrogate people.
Okay.
You just know.
But he's buff as a Muay master. He has to be in good shape.
Still, okay.
Still have 1 success.
He says, "Look,
okay.
look. This one does not want any trouble.
You've already found it.
And if I tell you what I know, you'll go away and you'll go away.
Perhaps.
Leave me alone.
If I like the answer."
Okay. I know that these things were. I shouldn't have listened in, and this one knows that this is bad form. But the ones that wanted these prayers said something about Charlie Chan, and I also heard them say, the friend he was with wishing that he had gone to the Lover's Stone. Honestly, I know who these guys belong to, and I don't want any trouble with you or them. So you didn't hear anything, right?
So you're saying those Triad members only came here to buy these drawings you made?
You frowned a little.
Guys are really superstitious.
Prayers. Paper prayers. Yes.
That were used for evil purposes.
I don't see how.
I do not think your master would approve you selling to criminals.
Even criminals are allowed a second chance, right? Right?
How are you offering them a second chance by aiding them with a crime? You are an accessory to a crime. You do know that.
No. I'm not a criminal. Honestly, no. I just write prayers, and if people want a prayer for the god of wealth, goddess of wealth, yes, I'll make that. I mean, if they use that for evil, and I honestly don't see how they could, that is what they do with it.
So you're telling me you had no idea you were aiding criminals? I'm supposed to believe that.
I know that they belong to the Triad, yes, but it's not something like, it's not like I did anything wrong. I didn't steal or lie or one of the others. I just make prayers for tourists mostly.
Actually, that's
so
kind of true.
You're used to dealing with criminals, is that it? Criminals frequent this place, so you consider it normal.
They are people too.
People who lie, murder, and steal.
That's not for me to judge. That's not for me to judge. I just, provide a service. I just help people.
You're breaking up again, Dawa.
Yeah.
Oh crap.
Hard.
I just help. Look. I just make prayers. I just make prayers. I just help people. And how those people, use the prayer is up to them.
How much money did they offer you? Yeah, I'm putting more pressure on him.
Yes.